trilogy, kind of a post-mortem kind of thing here.
Yes.
We're going to go over what we liked about all three of them, what we didn't like, all that fun stuff. Well, let's start with you, Keith. You just saw Rise of Skywalker. What'd you think?
I surprisingly enough, despite all odds, I did not hate it. It was fun. It was dumb. In some ways, I respect. In retrospect, I respect more The Last Jedi. I respect that a little bit more as a movie, as in terms of like how scenes were executed, the aesthetic of the I just think this one was a step down in some regards, like the editing.
Yeah,
it is just a mess at times, but overall, it was it feels like it's making up for about 2 movies worth of missed like time. You know what I mean? I feel like if I look at the trilogy overall, there's just a lot of nothing really. A lot of wheel spinning. A lot of just reintroducing the familiar.
Yeah.
So they really are. This was a marathon sprint to the finish. It was convoluted as all hell.
Yes.
Just
So I'm going to check a few levels. If you want to go a little bit on about what you saw, I'm just going to make sure everyone can hear us and the thing's coming through. So, I'm just going to do that real quick. If you want to run through some things, and then we're going to discuss what we both saw.
Sure. So yeah, it's making up for a lot of missed time, or lost time. Sorry. Right out of the gate, we have probably the worst opening crawl, right? The dead speed, right?
Oh my god, yes. We got to warn, but let's warn everyone while we're ahead now. This will have spoilers.
Yes,
heavy spoilers. But, I mean, expected. Come on, guys. So yes, the opening title crawl, I thought it was like a weird homage to like Dawn of the Dead, or no, Day of the Dead, the news headline on the pink newspaper, the Dead Walk. I was like, what? Okay, that's a little strange. But yes, that was a little strange. That was definitely a little strange. I'm gonna do a couple shares and stuff, but do you honestly believe that Ryan Johnson and J.J. Abrams intended was going to happen?
No.
Okay. Yeah, like of course not. I think we just I did a little bit of an edit, so it got a little bit wonky here. Can you hear me?
It's okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. Alexa, we're having a little bit of trouble with the bandwidth again. All right, we should be good now. Yeah. Okay, good.
Nobody thought to just sit down and like have lunch, like the guys at Pixar did when they planned their movies, like for real, like it just exposes like there's just no connective tissue. There's no really. It's like all they had to go on going into this trilogy. I mean, I don't know. Should we go in more into? I don't want to get off the. I don't want to be just all over the place. Should we just focus on Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, let's for now focus on that, and then I guess we'll kind of wean into the entirety of the series. I'm just doing a few shares and stuff to get everyone on the same page with us right now, but let's do that.
It's all too appropriate because we're just going to bring it right back to the first movie. I mean, this is J.J. Abrams again, and it suffers from some of the same problems as The Force Awakens. It's just like, how did we get here? You're telling me Palpatine is been on God, what's the planet called? The hidden
that one. Not Korriban. Not Korriban, right?
Right,
it's totally different.
It's just a bunch of strobe lights, just a lot of flashing lights in this movie, like really tons of flashing lights.
Yeah.
He's been here the whole time. Like he's got like 50 billion Star Destroyers that are just like beneath the.
Oh, that too. That can't be good for the unit, don't you think?
Right.
That can't be good.
Right. Like where is he getting all the manpower for this? It's the First Order all over again. It's all too appropriate that it's called the Final Order.
That was the best. I nudged Sebastian, who was with me at night. When I nudged him, I was like, was there a second order, or are we just first to final? Like, what?
It's different order.
Yeah, what the heck?
It's totally cooler.
Yeah, that was so bad. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, now that connection issues have been adjusted at this point, I don't for 1 second believe that Palpatine was intended to be the final villain, at all.
No.
That never crossed my mind at all during the entire thing. That this, even from the trailers, I didn't buy it. I was like, nah, you guys are just poor JJ. He's been written into a corner, and that's all this is.
Ian McDiarmid confirmed this. He said he's just like, could the Emperor come back? And
Yeah, he's like, nope.
George's like, no, he's dead.
He's dead.
He's done.
Did you watch the Red Letter Media review of Rise of Skywalker?
Yes.
Dude, the part about C-3PO was my favorite. Which is like, you could tell it was Anthony Daniels. Like, I want a moment for the greatest character ever, C-3PO. And every time he tried to do a George, she's just like, C-3PO was always scared. He's always scared.
Yes. It got too much C-3PO to be.
Oh my god, yeah.
And what a I don't want to just jump ahead too much here, but one of the just the things that leads to the MacGuffin that leads to another plot device is the Sith dagger, the Sith language that's inscribed in this dagger, and C-3PO is forbidden to translate it, and of course his
that was so dumb.
His sacrifice.
It's so dumb.
C-3PO's big sacrifice.
His temporary sacrifice.
I have to wipe his memory. Oh no! What are you doing there, buddy? I'm taking one last look at my friends.
These guys who despised you. You don't even know them.
What a big old nothing burger.
Yep.
Nothing.
Yep.
Complete nothing.
Yep.
R2 had it on a USB the whole time.
There was no consequences to this. Oh, remember Chewbacca? Like, Chewbacca just apparently dies. You're like, wow, I actually feel something right now.
Yes.
Like,
a
what?
Genuine holy shit.
I was like, yo, they got rid of the final, old hero, and it's this sucks, and nah, there's just a different one off screen. No, there's a different ship off screen.
Yeah, about 2 minutes later, just like, no, he's fine, don't worry, he's fine. It's like, it's fine. Like,
I kind of want to hear that. It's like I hear that in George Lucas' voice now, where it's just like, no, you're fine. Jeez. Yeah, it's annoying because, side note too, since we're talking about the Palpatine stuff, I've been venting about this on my wall for quite some time. Have you noticed people losing their minds about people, quote unquote, spoiling the Palpatine return?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're talking what happened?
Yeah, dude, people in my feed, I'm just adjust this one more time, just being kind of dumb. People in my feed have been getting really mad about, they're like, oh, don't spoil the Palpatine returns, and it's like, have you been under a rock for 7 months? Like, they've made this clear to all of us.
They can't shut up about it. Come on.
It's their desperate attempt to get us to come see the movie. That's been the point. Yes.
Well, the ding dang poster.
It's they've had video game promo for it. It's been in the commercials. Ian McDermott was even there's just like, oh yeah, so did you want to bring back? Did they let you know that they want to bring Palpatine back? He's like, oh no, I got the phone call recently for this movie. Like, he's going in depth about he's back. Like, there's no question about it. J.J. Abrams in interviews is saying things like, oh, it wouldn't make sense to not bring the Emperor back. All right, guys, they kind of want you to know this.
Right.
Like, that's not a spoiler. So, like, I saw some people on my feed, like, really getting upset about this, and I had one guy get mad at me, and, like, another tryhard show up on top of that. He's, dude, I guess they have a bone to pick or something, I don't know. But, like, there's, like, oh, it is kind of a spoiler, Rob. It is a spoiler, because, I mean, what if all the trailers were a red herring? And it's like, they spent $300 million, and most of us to let you know the Emperor's back because they killed off the lead villain in the last movie. Who's the bad guy? Kylo Ren, the guy we've defeated multiple times with hardly any training at all? That's the bad guy? Or maybe Palpatine's coming back. Maybe I made posts about this. Like, as I didn't make predictions. I was just like, he's back because they told us he's back. And guess what? The first opening crawl is about him being back. Like, it's not a spoiler.
He's in the first scene. He's pretty much the first scene.
They established this pretty quick. They want you to know, like, he's not. It's not a ghost. This is not a red herring. Palpatine's back, okay? He's back. But that being said, like, can you guys, going back to the overall point, can you blame JJ? Like, what could you do in his shoes other than this?
Yeah, to be fair, and I can say how much I like certain things about The Last Jedi in hindsight, all I want, but didn't leave JJ with a lot to work with. Really didn't get a lot to work with. Now, to be fair, JJ didn't give Ryan a ton to work with. Like, here's the most damning thing about the movie. One of the lingering things from The Force Awakens, the Knights of Ren, like, ooh, these guys,
yes, the
watch
Knights of
out
Ren.
for these guys. Like, JJ can't even pick up his own thread. He can't even like they were no one. They were just
These guys.
They were like, they might as well have been the guards in Snoke's throne room in the last movie.
They were
like
the less cool red was it, what they call the Praetorian Guards or whatever from Return of the Jedi?
Praetorian Guards. Yeah,
like they're like the less cool of those guys. That's the best way I could put them, is that the less cool Praetorian Guards. Yeah. And the red guys in Last Jedi were the less cool. All right, there we go. I think I found a good balance. They're the less, like, yeah, like remember the whole speech that Snoke made too? First they are called the Sith, then they are called the Empire, now they're called the Knights of Ren. Like, I called that BS on day one. Right. And I was like, nah, it's a Sith, the Sith, and the Sith. That's all it is. And now, hey, look, where were we now? Oh yeah, we're the Sith. No, I kind of realized it just now. I was like, oh yeah, they just kind of went full circle on this, and it wasn't because it was a narrative decision. It was because Rian Johnson murdered the bad guy. Yeah. And now we have to retread water, and even, like, I will say, I thoroughly enjoyed the middle fingers to Last Jedi. I thought that was hysterical. It's sad because that's not a positive in a movie, like a storytelling perspective.
No,
it's just me being petty about the last movie, and it's so, like, that I can't put that in, like, my ranking. It's just hey, thanks JJ. I mean, I'd do that if I were you too. I mean, watching two directors fight over a franchise using scripts is amazing.
Like, it's complete hack writing, like, as a movie, but on a meta level, it's hilarious. It's just like, Rey tossing the lightsaber into the fire only for Luke's blue ghost hand to catch it.
Just catch it.
He's like, that's no way to treat a Jedi's sacred weapon.
Yeah. Yeah, and to make it matters worse, he just flat out says, I was wrong. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah. Dude, yeah, there was some stuff. It's sad because there were moments that I really enjoyed. Like, I think that Rey actually had development that she should have had 2 movies ago. Like, she went up against adversity in this one for a change. A little bit. I mean, she still was OP, but she got upset and about things that actually seemed legitimate.
Got more of an intense challenge. At least it seemed like it was just more adversity.
Yeah.
I like the water. I like in the space movie it gets down to her in a little actual boat, not a spaceship, but like a little like on the water, like braving these insane big waves. I
Yeah.
mean, something. It's compelling to see on the big screen. Like, yeah, it was fun to see her do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, she actually had to try against something, and
Yeah.
there were so like that was one of the moments I was like, oh wow, I'm starting to kind of like Ray a little bit here because they're giving her an arc to some degree. I mean, it still could have been a bit better, but I think it was about as good of an arc as you could possibly get given how little time we had
Yeah.
to establish this. We had 2 whole movies where like we learned nothing about Ray, and you know that's it. There's nothing we can pick up from him. 1 second. I gotta turn my TV volume down so it doesn't bleed into the mic real quick.
Yeah.
1 moment. I thought I had my remote over here, but I guess not. But yeah. So what are your thoughts about the Ray arc?
I mean, as far as addressing the whole Mary Sue thing, giving her more adversity to go to the other side of that. How crazy powerful she is, I think actually really serves it. It makes it more compelling. That scene where she's force pulling a whole ship and then zaps it with lightning.
yeah.
Like it is a genuine like wow. Like
Yeah.
it is. That's pretty cool. Like haven't seen that before. Like so in Star Wars at least. So like. There it had it had a couple surprising moments.
Yeah,
Oddly enough.
there again. Yeah, it made you kind of go like, "Oh, who is Rey?" I mean, I like how like in Last Jedi, the whole thing was like, "Oh, your parents are nobody," implying that anybody can become like the most powerful Jedi in the galaxy. And then Ryan's just like, "No, nah, fuck that, screw that." Sorry about the language. I'm still working on it. But yeah, just like no, actually, you gotta be born this way, like they established before. I really
Yeah.
wasn't like married to either or. I did think it was kind of dumb that, I get it. It's more interesting if like an average Joe can become the most powerful Jedi. Narratively, it's cool, but the problem is you're in a universe where we've established that's not the case,
Right.
and that's the big problem. It is also sad to see the Skywalker lineage reduced to what it was reduced to at the end of this. That was
Yes.
supposed to be the greatest bloodline in the galaxy, and like what happens to that now? Whatever. It just turns
And-
into he's the guy that like I guess alley ooped or something like that and helped out
Yeah.
Ray.
And that's the thing. That's the whole purpose of killing Snoke. The whole meta of that is like, okay, screw like the guy in the chair. Like Kylo Ren is the big bad of here. I will say, as far as subverting expectations goes, that is a narrative decision that can serve the trilogy in the long run. Like that's something that I think was set up just fine for a third movie. But yeah, if the Emperor, I as much as I love the Emperor, love McDermott, a lot of fun. I will say the third act of this one was when it started to drag a little bit for
Really?
me. A little bit.
I felt, in my opinion,
Yeah?
Act 1 was what really was a mess. Like it was just
Yeah?
hard to follow. There was too much going on. Like you could tell it was mostly damage control in the first act, and then they were just like, all right, let's get this over with. Let's now we have the crazy battle and all this stuff, and we've got to somehow raise the stakes in like no time at all. Like raise the stakes in a way the last 2 movies should have already done, and do it in a way that's like borderline comical. Like those Looney Tunes, like pulling an entire fleet out. Like from underneath the ground.
Oh
like,
yeah.
What? And then now part of
Like
it.
full speed ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. It just the pacing was so neurotic. Like it's like oh
Yeah.
crap. Okay, we're here now. All right.
It's a road trip for a
Yeah.
while. It is definitely like, and to JJ's credit, it's like, okay, now the gang is all here. Now we have
Right.
all 3 of our main casts together. Now let's have some chemistry between them. But it is moving at such a breakneck pace. straight up what they go to like Burning Man.
I was gonna say, I
and
was gonna make a Burning Man joke too. Like, what the heck? It's just a
it
party
turns
planet.
into Mad Max. It turns
Yeah.
into straight up Mad Max. They fly now. They fly now. They fly now.
Dude, did you hear that JJ apparently did not like that part?
Yeah. Well, he shouldn't. It's not good.
Yeah, apparently from what I heard it's his least liked scene, but the reason it was like put in there was to sell toys, and like that's what that line is even in there.
Because they never fly again, really. Like they don't.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing them flying in like I guess it was all like in ships and stuff in the finale. I guess that just started to get a little tiresome for me. A lot of the I don't know the carnage, the ship stuff. It wasn't as well executed as the dreadnought scene in The Last Jedi. I thought like some of the action in this one was way sloppy and more hastily edited. It just seemed more rushed. It just seemed more, and it was. It really it literally like it looked rushed.
I hate the fact that we have to give all this credit to Last Jedi.
I know.
It just bothers me. Like, we have to.
That's the thing. This trilogy has been unique in that, like, everyone has made me go, like, that last one wasn't so bad. Like,
yeah. I still think I rank The Last Jedi below this one, though.
It's tough. It's really tough. I need to chew it. I need to chew on it longer. I don't know. I think just as a straight up movie, just scene to scene.
Yes.
Connecting
having its own dots.
Thematically, like I just think The Last Jedi is just a stronger. Even as just like a standalone movie, but that is also the trouble. That was supposed to be the middle chapter. It is supposed to be carrying the most weight, arguably. I mean, you look at the Empire Strikes Back in the original trilogy. All the heavy lifting that one does.
Yeah.
I think. Are we going to go backwards? Should we go into The Last Jedi and then back into The Force Awakens?
I guess let's just sum up overall, because I know you just saw the movie, so you're kind of fresh right now. But
let me see what else I got here. I mean, Adam Driver. It's a shame.
He acted his butt off.
He is. He really. I mean, him and Oscar Isaac they've been great. This whole trilogy, so that they've had some good scenes in this one.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Zori Bliss?
Was that the one that had a relationship with?
Yes.
Yeah, that lady.
Spice Skating Days.
She seemed okay. I get it. They're trying to make it a Boba Fett kind of thing. It was okay. I mean, I don't know what the point was of her opening her eye visor. I don't get the point of that. I was like, okay. Like, she has eyes. Thank you. We established that. She's got two.
I like that. That being said, though, I liked that scene in general on that planet, and I liked that planet got blown up. It seemed like this one. I admired that it actively corrects the past mistakes, not just of The Last Jedi, but of The Force Awakens.
And, right. That's what's so sad, though. Like, it never gets a chance to be its own film.
Yes.
It has to spend so much time being like, oh crap, remember this? We're gonna fix that. As opposed to like, hey, how about these new novel ideas? No, it's too busy. It's like JJ's big flaw, and he's probably heard it a million times, and this is definitely not anything new, is the mystery box crap. And I talked about that from day one of Force Awakens. Like, I like how now everybody is all, with hindsight, they're like, yeah, it really wasn't that good of a film. It was all the mystery box stuff. I was like, from day one, I was saying that was the problem. And as a result, the next film had to pick up the slack. Well, the next film didn't do that. The reason I don't like The Last Jedi so much is it thinks it's smarter than the viewers. Like, that's what gets on my nerves. It's just a pretentiousness to the film that, it's 40 years of canon and you're just disassembling it for no other reason other than to subvert expectations. Like, why don't you make your own space, opera of some kind and then show, hey, this is what I would do if I was if I wanted to make my own, to subvert the expectations of the medium, as opposed to just throwing everything into a dumpster and going, hey, I'm going to disassemble everything because this is different. Well, is it good? And so this is why it's hard for me to be very forgiving to The Last Jedi. Do I give credit for Ryan for trying new things? Yeah, but don't try new things if there's a purpose, if they're well thought out, and there wasn't. Finn had the exact same arc that he did from the first film. He didn't get anything. People have went over and on about this. We're not going to go too long down, on about it. But we have a 45 minute side quest in Space Monte Carlo. All that crap. Why? What did it accomplish? Well, they got screwed over by a guy and they got captured. Okay, so nothing at all. Okay, well, what did Luke get over all these years? Nothing at all. Okay, got it. I'm seeing this happen. I see a pattern here. Hey, where does Rey have parents? No, they're nobodies. Oh, great. Okay, this is getting really obnoxious. You're not getting anything out of this. It's just a bunch of nothing. Haha.
Yeah, that there exposes the biggest the Emperor was never the plan because well he would have had an appearance in that damn cave scene, wouldn't he? He would have, or at least I don't know some insight into that. It just I like a lot of stuff. Well, I mean, maybe not a lot of things in The Last Jedi, but certain things are strong. Yes, it is a lot of wasted time. In fact, there's a lot of scenes in The Last Jedi that are just we need to buy more time. That is just a comment, we're gonna be the spark that reignites the hope of the blah blah blah. It's a lot of that. For as much of the subverting of the expectations there are. That it almost feels half-hearted. It feels like it is also still safe and very Disney. I don't know. My coworker put an interesting thought out there. Just hey, give Ryan Johnson the first movie. Maybe that would have been the better option to go. Get the guy and then get JJ to do the second movie. I don't know. I mean that might have.
I don't know, man. If he did the first movie, everyone would have been dead. Everyone and everything would be destroyed.
Well, I mean, if he killed off all the old characters, but not before they got they have a one last hurrah together, one last scene together, that would have been one way to do it. Kill the past and
he wouldn't do that. Look how much he gave Luke. He couldn't even give Luke a minute to mourn the death of his best friend. Do you think he's gonna? Yeah. You think he's gonna give him the cruise back together moment? No way.
I did like the Chewie mourning Leia in this one. That was a nice little. He's just on his knee. He's just on his knees.
That's the opposite of Chewie in Force Awakens, where it's just gotta make sure you hug Rey. Somebody that doesn't know Han Solo.
Right, where was that when Han Solo got it? Come on.
I'm angry, I guess. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was
yes. So again, to reaffirm that it's not only looking at Ryan Johnson's movie, it is looking at JJ's own movie. He's shit, how can we stick this landing? How can we, make up for those blunders and also tie this whole thing up?
So, he tried his best, man. He really did. We also need to bring up the fact that there apparently is a Ryan Johnson cut, and it looks a lot better, from what I heard.
Ryan Johnson cut.
Sorry, my bad. I messed up. I'm trying to multitask. My bad. Okay, so no, if there was a Ryan Johnson cut, I would not be very interested. God, do you think the Emperor would make it into the second act in a Ryan Johnson cut? He'd be so gung-ho to murder him. He'd be like, yo, what? He'd be salivating at the thought of murdering anybody important. That's, yeah, it would be terrible. It would be terrible. No, so there's a J.J. Abrams cut where apparently J.J., he does fix a lot of things. It's kind of like the extended cut of BBS, but, okay, not going to go into BBS too long, but for BBS, I really don't think... the extended cut did that much for BBS. I think it was a good movie to begin with.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's trying to say. I think people are just like, oh, like I hated the movie before that. Then I saw the extended cut. It's not that different of a film. How you really can't go from hating it to loving it. Like it doesn't do that much.
It just fills in a couple little cracks and just connect. Basically, it concludes like a couple. It ties up a couple arcs more nicely together. Like the guy getting it, in prison, and we don't want to get into that too much, but yeah. So it would be nice for a longer version to all this like. I mean, what's up with the dagger? I guess.
Yeah. Dude, here's another line too. I forgot to mention this one. This is one of the dumbest lines in Star Wars history, and it coincidentally is in The Rise of Skywalker. It's where Finn, he goes, he talks to like another stormtrooper lady that he meets, and they're like on one of the big like super machine whatever destroyers, and he says, he's like, I never really believed in the Force until just now. You're friends with Rey. What is there to believe?
Right.
Like, you're friends with a Jedi.
You saw her like move like a bunch of boulders like with her mind in the last movie, or with the Force or whatever.
You were in a lightsaber battle with Kylo Ren. Like you've been in battle with Jedi. Like what is there not to believe? Yeah, it's so dumb. And horses, I don't like. I get the Ewoks are dumb, but horseback, like, and then let's get another problem too. Now we're really getting some of the weird problems with this. So let me get this straight. You have the most powerful fleet ever assembled, but they have to stay still, except for one radar dish. And then when you're about to take out the radar dish, they can just switch it to a ship. Why doesn't all the ships just use their own GPS then? I don't understand. Like, it didn't make sense. It was just so nonsensical. I don't. Yeah, there's. But again, there's things I loved. There's really things I love, like Luke for just a bit was Luke again. It was just a little bit, and it's like, oh, and then don't forget, dude. We really can't. Luke can't get any sort of a win on screen, right? I've noticed this with the movies. Look at the one time we've seen him in a lightsaber battle. What happened
with Leia?
Yeah, he loses. Can't give Luke a win. Again, he's like just like training her or something, but it's like, can the guy cut a break, like at all? I just hate what they've done to him. So that's just the side thing.
Leia has always been stronger. That's why it took all of her strength to reach Ben.
That was the thing that got on my nerves. It's like, yeah. So let's get another thing I thought was really funny. So Harrison Ford's back, right? You know how much
he rolled out of bed.
Yeah, he hates Han Solo when he can't even shave. He can't even shave or get a haircut for the hair. He's like, all right, kid, I'll do your movie under 2 conditions. It's like, don't shave, no haircut. Like that's his conditions for being Han Solo one more time.
And if I piss my pants when we're rolling, we keep rolling.
We keep rolling. Yes, that's how we do it. That's how we do it. I'm gonna send a link to a few friends of mine real quick. But, let's see. Okay, cool. Anyway, so that was very strange. They didn't really, they didn't explain that. I think JJ, in the JJ cut, explains that it's Leia put the memory of Han Solo in his head, apparently, because she wasn't going to convince him, I guess. Is that right? I don't know. Right. So that's apparently, and apparently she has the Force power to make Han Solo look unkempt, too. Not the way that she was remembered.
You couldn't give him not even a little bit of a blue glow or anything. No, he just looks like... Yeah. Just looks like he just rolled out of bed, just like, kid. I know we didn't always get along, but you're always my boy.
My boy. Yep. So
he's about to go. I know. He got so many recycling of lines. Early on, I was not expecting a line from episode 3.
Yes, the 6th one.
Yes.
That was so weird.
is some deem unnatural.
And he's like, oh, I remember that line. That's cool. Hey, the dead speak.
Yes.
Like, yeah, that.
We do it.
Oh yeah, the Do It came back. Yeah. And so, what do you think of Rey somehow becoming an avatar for all the Jedi ever now?
Oh, it was so empowering. I was feeling all of the feels.
Yep. Like Holdo.
Yeah.
Remember
Uh,
Holdo?
how many of those cameos did you catch? I
Uh,
mean, it was such a what a this is nonsense. I was like, who are these people?
yeah, according to Rey, it would have been like, I don't know who you are.
It's like, ooh,
Like, who are
what?
you?
Strange.
And then too, like Anakin's like bring balance back to the Force like I did. No, you didn't. You threw him down a hole and he lived. What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah, you blew it.
You blew it. Yeah, you blew it, kid. It's stupid. But I get it. Like you have to wrap it up because both your movies didn't want to advance the plot, and now here we are. That's the big problem. Both movies had their own ideas about how to play it safe. I mean, Orion, yeah, he wanted to subvert expectations, but do you think at any point was he like, hey, let's find a way to advance these characters themselves. Let's find a way to give these guys some depth. No, you don't, Ray. You don't have any parents. Finn, you're a coward again.
Poor
know,
Finn always getting sidelined. Like
Oh,
he
yeah.
went from being the most interesting character to being just
Oh, yeah, I thought it was really cool.
just like he's force sensitive now, and then for what? I
We
mean, like,
we don't even fully know that because they cut the explanation out. You see?
oh yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So we can't say that because it was cut out thanks to Disney.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. He goes, I can feel it, and then like just like
Yeah.
a split second later, just like yeah. They couldn't have had just a minute, just where he talks about that a little bit.
He's like, I can feel the Force, as opposed to Also, if you didn't believe, so did he say he never believes in the Force before he said that, or after he said that? Because it's a little confusing.
Yeah,
He says he could always feel it, right?
before. I think it was before. Maybe I think it was before. Yeah, I don't know.
It's. I don't want to hate it because again, this. What could you do? How are you gonna wrap it up? Last Jedi pretty much wrapped it up for you, but for all the wrong reasons.
Now, as much as I want to give it a pat on the back for addressing past goofs, it's sometimes a little sloppy with this. Case in point,
Sometimes. All over the place.
Rose, our favorite, everyone's favorite Rose Tico, everyone's favorite. Oh, poor Rose.
Poor Kelly
Rose.
Marie Tran, man. She
Reduced to a cameo.
she did her best too, man. Like, at no point could I ever begrudge her for acting her butt off, with a character that was really just kind of trash. She did a good job. You know, like I don't, and if people did indeed harass her, then you're all pieces of trash. She did nothing wrong, at all. You know, and now look what happened to her character.
Job. Yeah, no, it's a shame. Yeah, she had nothing to do with it. It's just, yeah, she did her job, and it's not her fault. It's bad. It's no one's fault. I can't blame Daisy Ridley at all for Rey being a weak, just kind of vanilla character. You know, she's fine.
But the
Daisy's
Space Force
fine.
is too, man. Not just the character's boring, but the entire plot surrounding Rose was idiotic.
Right.
It's just ridiculous. Actually, I'm gonna put some here. I got an idea. I have some Smash replays I want to put in the background so I can focus.
I mean, we don't need to get into saving what we love. We know. I know.
Yeah. But it's great to be able to get this stuff out now because you should have seen it, dude. If you go to my wall, go a while back, you're gonna see one of the dumbest arguments. I don't want to name names in here because this is on like a bunch of different platforms. But if you take a look, go to my post. I was joking about how, and it is kind of a running joke after you watch this movie. If you want to kill a Sith Lord, don't throw him down a hole because they're just gonna come back. Like
Yeah.
it even happened in the new movie. I joked about that before I saw it with Sebastian. Kylo Ren gets thrown down a hole. what happens?
The Emperor even says, it's like, just as I was defeated.
You just
He's
comes
like, but
back.
you weren't, though. But you
Yeah.
weren't.
You guys were sort of beaten, but yeah. So yes, so if you go on the wall, you'll see this guy. Like he comes in and he wasn't that he was he used a bunch of ellipses. I don't understand why people love these things, and because they don't realize like the ellipses are there for a reason. They have a tone. And so he was like, weren't you just getting upset about people spoiling the movie? ... And I was like, well, I guess you better get mad at Disney then. Because everything I've said in this joke is common knowledge. All of it. And they spent $300 million to make sure you knew this, and somehow you didn't. But I don't know how you even know the movie's coming out at this point. It's incredible. And so like he was in an argument with me before. He was like, no, but you really kind of did, Rob. ... And it's like, okay, that does it. And I don't like deleting people, but that guy, he was so pedantic and frustrating that actually I did. Like, I kind of lost civility. It was just kind of like, no, you're just pulling a gotcha move here. Nobody on Earth who claims to be a Star Wars fan does not already know this.
We don't know whose eyes are on that poster. It could be Luke.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. That was the argument. He was basically essentially saying that. I didn't quite say it that way. But yeah, he was like, no, well, how do you know that, Rob? I was like, what do you mean how I know that? Are we really going to have this argument? And yeah, we did. And he's gone now. So yeah, and then like there's another guy I know, not name names, but then he also made a post about this, like, I hate it when I go on Facebook and someone spoils the movie. And he was like, the guy commented going, who spoiled it? And he's like, well, you did because you brought up the Palpatine's back. And he's like, well, I'm sorry, I guess, so did this gigantic campaign and stuff, and I had to I had to jump into it. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're not. I don't like playing the you're not a real fan card, but that one, yes, because it's such an obnoxious thing to whine about. I guess you're not a real fan because here you are whining about something that was made abundantly clear to everybody. So I ain't talking about. Do you know the 7 forms of lightsaber combat? It's have you kept an eye on Facebook for the past 7 months? That's the level of fan we're talking about here.
Yeah. God, they're exhausting.
It is. It's remember when Rogue One came out? Like all these people like were making these were sharing this meme where they're quote unquote explaining where the movies are in the timeline. Like, here it is, people. I'm kind of an expert. And I was like, oh my god. Oh my god. Really? Like, who are you condescending to? 4-year-olds?
No chili you have.
It's stupid. Yeah. And Brett let me put it kind of best here. Because of how ugly things have gotten because of Star Wars and Last Jedi and all that, like, when you see commercials for people pretending to be Jedi, it's almost kind of embarrassing now. Like, I don't... Like, I'll see, like, all these commercials on Facebook, or Facebook on YouTube and all that stuff, where people, they're running around with, like, lightsabers and, like, oh, you'd be a real-life Jedi, and it's like, dude, after these past few years, it's like, it's almost becoming, like, a fake fandom. Like, it's like, sort of becoming Doctor Who now. There's no Doctor Who fans. There's no such thing as a real one. You just think you're fans. No one likes that show. And not because I'm a real fan, I don't like it either, but I'm at least honest about it. Sorry, everybody.
It's hip. It's hip like Star Wars.
I think. Well, but more like Disney's got a lot of money, and
yes, exactly.
that's
what Disney wants.
It's weird because I still find that the people that are most like passionate about Star Wars, the people that seem to support things like the prequels. Like, I don't know of anyone that's just like going on and on about how great they like Kylo Ren and stuff. Speaking of which, too, have you ever followed Star Wars Theory on YouTube? That guy, he's like the biggest channel on YouTube about Star Wars.
Can't say.
Yeah, he's got like 2-3 million subs, and he usually has pretty good theories and whatnot. But his review, he hated The Last Jedi, but then he reviewed this, and he was like, "Oh, I loved it," and he was really going into how much he loved it, and it was just like, "Did I watch the same movie?" Like, this is even my guitar player Darren has problems with it. Darren and I disagree on everything. But, like, he was like, I told him, was like, the more we talk about this, like, the more you're gonna not like it. Because it's just things that are they're impossible to forgive, even though most of these mistakes are a result of the crappy trilogy.
Yeah, the thing is, the movie moves at such a clip that you would not notice these things. It is just like, it is just... He was moving, like it just moves so fast. You can't even the average average viewer just like, wow, look.
That was cool.
Yeah. No, I mean, and to be fair, like honestly, like that kind of was my own experience seeing it
Yeah.
today. Like I honestly did not mind it at this point. I just shrugged, just like,
Yeah.
Babu Frick, we love him.
Oh yeah, was that the tech guy?
Yes,
I keep forgetting he had a name.
yes.
Or the new or there was a post recently about the new droid that was in the movie, the Sith droid or whatever.
Dio.
Yeah, and they
Oh,
were showing all the toys that no one's buying, and it was like, man, Disney's probably really regretting not banking on Baby Yoda instead of this guy.
right.
Let's
Well,
put other resources in this.
a friendship ended with Baby Yoda. Now Babu Frick is my best friend.
Yeah.
I wish Babu Frick could erase my memory of this trilogy.
Yeah. So I guess in the end, one of the big questions we want to answer now is, where would you how would you rank each trilogy if you had to rank like each as a 3-part trilogy, like first, second to third, just personal preference, not like doesn't matter if it's not a good movie making. Where would you put them?
I have not watched the original trilogy in many, many years.
Yeah.
I would still probably put that at the top because
Yeah.
generally the movies I enjoy are more so from the 70s and 80s. So I just like how they were made. I like how, all the sets, the props, free of CG. It is just a very earnest kind of movie, and yeah, it's free from a lot of the. There's just some cynicism in this sequel trilogy. There's something about it. There's something about the modern. There's so much humor. So much of it's like the Marvel effect. It's like we're constantly undercutting drama with comedy, like every few minutes, and it just starts to feel artificial at that point. So to that point, I would put the sequel trilogy at the bottom and the original at the top, and the prequels I would put in the middle.
Yeah.
I think you could say maybe on a storytelling level or on a technical level, like maybe the green screen is more garish, or the acting is awkward, the writing is whatever, but there's just a lot more imagination under the hood. There's
I think so too.
we with the prequel trilogy, we got Darth Maul, we got Dooku, we got
Yeah.
Grievous, we got like all these different bad guys, and with this one, we just got Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren's not bad, but like, come on, like
Yeah.
George would give us more.
He would. And the world building too, man. The world building in the prequels, I think, was significantly better.
Yeah.
And here we were talking. It's kind of like we got what we deserved as a fan base. We talked so much crap about George Lucas and the prequels that so I got a phone call coming through. It's Gary. Mr. Thorne.
Oh.
Let's see. Okay. I wonder if he wants in. Maybe that's what's going on.
Oh. Yeah.
See if he wants to get. Well, we won't unless he wants to get me to a 3-way Skype thing. Oh, let me see what's going on with him.
I don't know how late we wanted to take
Yeah.
this thing, but I mean, we are getting into the other movies.
Okay, he's calling about something else, some diet stuff. But yeah, so dude, here we are. The prequels, like I think our fan base, we kind of deserved it.
Yeah,
We deserve this.
They're kind of finally having their day, and like just look at how things like the Clone Wars still have diehard Clone Wars fans to this day, and that's just birthed from that prequel era, and that's just because that level of world building that like just old George could bring.
Dude, he knew like what breaks my heart the most is there were some leaks I had about the script and how there were retakes and they brought George in to fix everything and this. And in the same leaks, they brought up the kiss scene. They brought up all these things that happened in the movie. So what that means is there is a Lucas cut because the same guys that leaked the script that I saw.
I
Uh,
heard about this Lucas cut.
yeah, I don't even want to see the Ryan. I don't want. I don't want to see the JJ cut. I want the Lucas cut. Like that.
Right.
That's the one that's gonna be the actual. As far as I'm concerned, that'll be the one I consider canon.
We probably get like a scene of like Babu Frick coming home to his wife, just like, This guy, there's probably a whole backstory to that guy in the Lucas cut. Like, I'm telling
He's friends
you.
with Dexter Jettster.
Yes.
He knew how to make some characters, man. Like, what do we got? Maz Kanata?
Yeah. Unfortunately, reduced to just exposition. Really, just
Dude, I never
kind of
cared
we've
for her to
gone.
begin with.
Coming from, well, she was kind of like I didn't care for her much to begin with, but at least she had spunk. You at least had the impression, just like, whoa, anything could happen with this crazy old lady. This old grandma, she's got guns, but like she was just she gave them a quest in the second movie, and in this one she's just a mouthpiece for just when they couldn't CG Carrie Fisher to do it. Just like Leia knows what must be done.
Well,
It will take all her strength to reach Ben.
remember a story from another time with the lightsaber?
Oh yes, and yes, story for another time.
We never did have the story.
I had that vibe when she gave Chewie the medal. Just like I was expecting.
Where'd you
someone
get that?
to be like, Where'd you get that? It's like that's a story for another time.
Alright. Oh, dude, I was watching a clip from the Battlefront games, and
Yeah.
they're trying so hard to like retroactively add Maz Kanata in the canon. It's really cringeworthy. So there's a Han Solo mission where you have to like beat up some bad guys in a smuggling room, and in order to get information, like he talks to Maz Kanata like they're old friends, and I was like, get out of here, no, okay. Now you're just shoehorning these new characters into the old trilogy. It's like, oh yeah, Maz, I owe you one for this, Maz. It's like, yeah, show me for a lot of things. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you were just old friends, man. I'm sure you were there from day one. I'm sure you weren't being. It's not. This obviously is right now. And yeah, Luke, man, like they're trying to retroactively add these characters in, or they're trying to take things away. Like, if anybody who's been screwed the most in the trilogy, it's been Luke. Like, at least we got to see Han be Han for a little bit in the first one.
Well, it's tough to say who got screwed over the most. I don't think nobody got off looking good. I at least the direction they took Luke in the second movie, in the Last Jedi, while like it's not necessarily like agreeable with a lot of fans. I guess at least Rian Johnson gave something to that character. At least it's like we spent a whole movie building up to Luke being on this damn island, so now Ryan's like, okay, why is he here? Like, how did he get here? And at least like that's the real meat of The Last Jedi at the end of the day. That's like the A plot, the Rey and Luke stuff.
Yeah.
See, in getting into this, comparing Rise of Skywalker to The Last Jedi, the Rise of Skywalker is juggling one ball, whereas where The Last Jedi has A plot, B plot, C plot, it is juggling them around to mixed results.
I mean,
Very
the
mixed
C plot
results.
shouldn't even been there.
Right.
Like C could have been completely removed. I would have been more forgiving to Last Jedi under a couple other conditions. The first thing here is we've waited to see what was the fruits of Luke's training. I get it. You want to narratively take Luke in a different direction, but he is the most iconic science fiction character in all of cinema, bar none. Period. At least in terms of protagonists. I can't think of anyone in sci-fi that's bigger than Luke Skywalker. Ever. And 40 years, and all, what do we get? Now he's depressed. It's everything that Luke isn't. For instance, did you see his plot? It's canon, by the way. In the Battlefront, like side quest, where it's like in between 7 and 6, they have like a couple old school storylines. Have you seen those?
I've seen those. I don't know the details.
Dude, Luke's actually pretty good in that.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of Luke. And there's one comment I read today. where it has like in Luke, he becomes friends with a stormtrooper, and it's all about altruism. Like the one guy was like, why did you help me? And he's like, because you asked. And he talks about how, you know, he's like, you have a choice. He's like, the rebellion, no, to be better. And he was like, oh, wow, this is Luke here. And one of the comments is like, 10, 15 years later, yo, let me kill my nephew in his sleep. It's like, yeah, that's pretty much like.
Yeah, pretty weird. Yeah, that's just come on. Yeah, yeah.
That's my
At
problem
least, and they could have even taken that a step further. Like, I would have even been satisfied with just like, was Luke even like influenced by the Emperor in that moment? It just shows you that they had no foresight at all. That was never the plan.
Yeah,
That
Palpatine
dark
made
forces.
Palpatine made Yoda and the other Jedi's complete morons. I mean, he could probably do that to Luke. Think about it.
Right.
I mean, he had I don't know if that's a Sith power to make all the other Jedi in the galaxy stupid, but he did it.
Right.
Because they said that, perhaps our judgment's been clouded. Wow, that's a convenient ability, don't you think? He's just sitting there, they can't think clearly. Meh.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, overall, it is my favorite film in the new franchise, as I said before. It is also my least liked one, for other reasons too. I just, it's something, it does not sit with me correctly that the end of the Skywalker saga is ended by a Palpatine with what, maybe a couple weeks of training, maybe. And what was even the training? You got to run around the Force a little bit. Okay.
Right. Yeah, I didn't get that obstacle course. Like, what was that? She gets like a little flag, like a little red flag, and
Capture
she's like
the
walking
flag.
on a branch.
Yeah.
Like
Space capture the flag.
like I get the blindfolding stuff, blindfold stuff. That's what kind of what Luke did in the old movies. But like,
You said
yeah,
Yoda.
all that other crap. I did not get it.
It was damage control, because understandably so, everyone was confused on why Rey is so effective with no training. I mean, here's the thing: there's like, oh, well, she's a Palpatine. Yeah, well, Palpatine had a master and everything, Plagueis, And also, I mean, people have talked about this a bunch already, but you realize that creepy melted face Palpatine had to have had sex.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not happening. just yes, right there. Like,
I didn't like how he looked. He was like connected.
Oh,
How he was
yeah.
connected to like the GLaDOS kind of rig, where
That
he's
part
just
was cool.
connected to tubes. His
Yeah.
eyes are all glazed over. I mean, you did see him with a wrinkly face for a second. When they're clashing, but and with the Sith eyes, he was. Oh, you only get the glowing eyes after he's drained the life force.
It wasn't even life force. Don't forget, he
Or-
brought up their bond. So,
Yeah.
that's another problem too. So, what exactly was happening? Is it because they had boners for each other or something? Like, is that
Their bond is so strong,
Really
and
wants to
with
get
the
with
power of two, I will restore the one.
so? Like, I was joking with Sebastian. I was like, so soon he make like a Jedi dating service to like take all their powers and stuff, called gender. Yes, get together, yeah, and like that's how he takes over the galaxy. He's like, yes, look at Michelle over here. Don't you think she's attractive? I don't know, maybe come on, just hang out, go on a date with her a few times, maybe you'll make out. I don't have a motive at all. Like, what is this ability of his? So that made no sense. None of that did. So let me get this straight. So if you strike down the Dark Lord of the Sith in anger or
Then
offense in
my
any way,
spirits, my spirit
Yeah.
will take over.
so there goes another problem. So you can't kill him, right? So that the only way that he can die, this master strategist who managed to fool the entire Galactic Senate for 50 years, who managed to manipulate both the Senate and the Jedi and the Chosen One, all of this were insane stuff, and the Rebellion. The one way he can die is if his lightning is reflected back on him, and he does it, and doesn't stop. Why don't you just stop shooting the lightning?
Why can't I stop?
Once you stop, you just can't stop.
Stop zapping yourself. It's just-
Why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense. So you can. That's the rule. So if you kill him with his own lightning, then that's okay, because that's not murder. Or I guess it's self-defense, but you're still killing a guy. That's like Raditz at the beginning of Dragon Ball, when like, he catches the farmer with the shotgun's bullet, and then he shoots it back, but everything's okay because it was the other guy's bullet. Yeah, okay. That's not killing him. Yeah, I don't know. She's studied no training whatsoever, but somehow it's just like, yeah, what if I just shot it back at him? I don't know. What if he did shoot it back at him? As long as it's in his back of his mind, as long as she doesn't shoot my lightning back on me, I'll win this.
There's no way she'll have a second lightsaber. There's no way. Like, that's the thing. It's all it was. It's like, and I am all the Jedi. It's like, second lightsaber.
She's got two of them. Whoever thought of that? It should have had like a metal detector at the front of the place, and it'd been like, hand in all your lightsabers right here, and that's how he wins. He beats everyone. She's like, oh crap, I'm sorry. He just hands it over like Bugs Bunny style. That's what I would have done if I were him. Is the way you can only come with... Or what if you like manipulated her? Now, if you fight me with two lightsabers, you'll become the Dark Lord of the Sith too. Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, okay, I'll put it away then. Like, and she was pretty trusting of all the nonsense he was spewing.
Right.
I don't know where to continue with this. The movie is a hoot.
Yeah.
That's the only one I might watch again, just because of how ridiculous it is. It's so goofy. It's like watching Venom again.
Yes.
Like, Venom is a hoot. It's not a good film, but it's a hoot. Like listening to Venom call Eddie Brock a pussy. That was hysterical. Pussy.
Yes, in some ways, my expectations were subverted yet again.
Yeah, subverted expectations.
But in a way that went down a little smoother. As a Star Wars movie, like, yes, I would concede. Like, this was fun. It's operating at a pace that I don't know, just makes it all this stupid crap go down a little smoother. Like, every time it cut to Billy D. Williams, I was just like, just get him out of here. It's like, too little, too late. Like, are you kidding me?
Poor
like,
Lando. He had one emotion in the whole film. He's having a good
Give
time.
Leia my love.
Dude.
He just got off the phone with her. He was just saying that, like, Leia just contacted me. Like, why? Yeah, why can't you just give it yourself?
Oh, yeah, I didn't realize that. Yeah, give Leia my love. Well, didn't she do that just 5 minutes ago?
No, Ray was totally right. Just like, do it yourself. Oh, how great when we just like the movie, we're just like blowing past everything. We didn't even talk about them flying into the quicksand.
Oh yeah. Man, a lot happened in this movie, and most of it was dumb.
Yes.
The waterfall fight was cool, or the Death Star fight, even though it makes absolutely no sense how the Death Star has any chunk of it left. Whatever.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Well, yeah, it all looked cool. It was all a nice backdrop, much like the trees in The Force Awakens. Like, that was cool. The battle in the
cool.
snowy forest and in The Force Awakens.
Kylo Ren and Rey, they have the one thing that's new well, one of them. I think Finn was interesting, but not so much in the last two movies. But yeah, that's one of the things I like. I like Rey and Kylo's relationship for whatever it's worth. I don't think he should have died. But especially because that's now where the Skywalkers, their entire legacy is gone. Like, there's no more Skywalkers. That's it.
No, done.
Because she ain't a Skywalker. I'm sorry.
But no, because Rey Skywalker, didn't you see?
She's a Skywalker now. Yeah. Yeah, Sebastian was interesting. I mentioned earlier, like, when we were watching the end part where Lando, was talking to the stormtrooper lady, and she's like, I don't know who my parents are, and he's like, well, let's find out. Sebastian thought that was setting up the new trilogy. He actually was being pretty, he was really, being a futurist about all this stuff, and then we come to find out, and that's hardly the case at all. That was actually a plot thread they just didn't bother to put in the film.
No, why didn't they just? Yeah, no, he's just her dad, right? That was just another detail. They just like,
what are the odds,
we
huh?
probably don't even need to include this. This doesn't even matter. That tells you this character that we just introduced.
Yeah, she's replacing Rose. She's
Yes,
she replaced
exactly.
it's sad
Like
because like
poor Rose.
that would have actually been a great role for Rose right there. Like, why do you need to have new Rose 2.0? Rose does not exist anymore. I didn't like again. I didn't like Rose because of the plot she had. I didn't dislike Kelly Marie Tran. I don't have a problem with her. I think she's a fine actress. I just hated what she did in The Last Jedi because of bad writing. She had every opportunity to be the character that they replaced her with, and it would be like, hey, look, Rose is doing something really cool, you know? Hey, it's great to see Rose kicking some butt now. Nope, someone new. You watch the ship, okay. What was the point of all the development of Last Jedi then? Like, I think it's because she was a creation of The Last Jedi, so screw you. This movie's not about Rian Johnson. This is about us.
Well, and it's about bowing down to the fans that were very vocal online. It's like, and to that point, I was like, I mean, I'm all for course correction, but when you do it to that point, I'm like, show some spine. Come on, this is clearly Disney. Just like, it's probably safe just to keep her at the base. It's probably best that she doesn't go on the adventure with everyone.
Yeah.
This is like, that sounds great. Sideline yet another character after like introducing them in the last movie. Just it's a trilogy of dropped threads, really.
Yeah.
Like that, dropped characters, or hastily wrapped up. But yeah, it's still fun. Still enjoyed it more than most Marvel movies. I had an okay. It was dumb as all hell, but it was really a spectacle. It had some bombast to it. I like the big waves. I mean, as dumb as it's just like I did like the big waves.
they were cool, man. There was some cool stuff. So there was it is interesting now that all the people that were like Last Jedi defenders when it came out, they were all like, a lot of them were really rude to people that didn't like The Last Jedi. I'm like, oh, your tears are delicious, haha, because this is the movie you wanted. Now a lot of those people are angry, and it's like, seeing the script flipped in them now is pretty delicious. Oh, yeah, well, it's not what you expected, you're just mad they subvert expectations. Well, I guess they subverted expectations this time, too, you're not happy. Oh, yeah? Like, all their memes and stuff being turned against them, and it's another reason I like this movie.
It's like Luke in the last movie. It's like, this isn't going to end the way you think it is.
Yep, pretty much, man. It's pretty much how it's going. So that has been another caveat that I'm very happy with, is that in their course correction, all of the Last Jedi purists are just freaking out. There was one person in my feed, actually, that was trying to say that the reason the Rise of Skywalker got bad reviews on Rotten Tomatoes was because there's a conspiracy against the Rise of Skywalker online. Like, Disney doesn't have the money to defend it. And it was kind of like, you think that's the conspiracy? Really? Tell me one person that thought Ant-Man and the Wasp was a quality film, but yet it got high reviews. Tell me anyone who thought Far From Home was a quality movie. Like, legitimately, and could actually argue why. Because I thought Far From Home was a boring movie. Did you see that one?
I refuse.
It's terrible.
I refuse.
It's a terrible movie. It's horrible. Like, I watched it finally, and I made a big post, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna throw it into this movie. Is it gonna pick up? Because this is like a TV series. Like, Peter Parker, we're going over to France now, and, oh, really? Okay. What are we doing?
That's how I felt about the first movie. That was like, this
too.
Spider-Man Homecoming, this is like a Disney Channel movie, so yeah.
It was not good. And yet, but what are the reviews? Oh, like one person, oh, it's like the best Spider-Man film. You really gotta see it. You really gotta see it. I kept seeing that on my feed constantly, and it's like, oh, you gotta see it. It's so good. It's so good. And then I watched it, and I was like, this was vapid and boring. Like,
made probably 3 times as much as Spider-Verse, and that's just, it's a crime.
Like, Spider-Verse is actually a pretty good movie.
Ugh.
It's pretty good. And I don't think it's, Spider-Man 2, but it's good. Like, it's, yeah, and so I was arguing that. I was like, you realize, like, is there any, like, certifiably rotten MCU movies? Or any of them? I can't think of them.
No. I don't think so.
Even The Dark World, dude.
Even Thor 2.
I don't know a single person that liked The Dark World. Like,
no one likes it.
the nicest I could say was the movie existed. Like, okay, it exists. It's here. You know, and yet some
It
people.
led to Thor Ragnarok.
Yes, it advanced the plot of the movies. And it was like, hey, remember Jane? No, we're getting rid of her. Okay. Yeah. So I just want to make a point about that to anybody who thinks otherwise. That a low Rotten Tomatoes score for a Disney film is somehow indicative of a conspiracy. That is the silliest thing I've ever heard in terms of like movies. No, I mean, I would understand if it was like a WB movie, because I think you and I are on a similar page, that it's just a little suspect that a movie like BVS is getting all these horrible reviews. 20%? I get if you don't like the tone. You know, I get, like, if you don't like, there's, like, legit criticisms of the film, but to tell me it's a 20% movie or whatever that the crazy low score was, get out of here. No. I don't buy that for 1 second. That got bad reviews, but Ant-Man and the Wasp, I was bringing it up to Gary recently. Like, do you remember what happened in that movie? He's like, not really. And I'm like, yeah, because it's not a good movie. It's not a good film. I remember Michelle Pfeiffer comes back.
They made the car big. They made the little car big.
They made the car big, yeah. That's about it. And yet, oh yeah, the Rise Skywalker's got bad reviews only because of that. And funny enough, the guy who's saying this has not, at the time, did not see the movie yet. Oh, okay. I'm sure he's got a great opinion to trust. He could give his honest analysis of the movie.
Sometimes one slips through, you know. Aladdin got bad reviews, but hey, it broke $1 billion at the box office somehow. But some say Disney, yeah.
What an Aquaman! How was Aquaman's reviews? Because that did really well too.
Aquaman, I think, did fine actually.
Really? Because I just think the premise looks so ridiculous.
It looks like something I would not enjoy.
Yeah, maybe you and I could do a viewing of it. Like
maybe.
I wonder if we can get away with like a live stream, like we couldn't show the movie itself, but I wonder if we could do like a live commentary.
Maybe.
We do something like that, because Aquaman. How can you make a good Aquaman movie? But yet it got like how the heck did Aquaman beat all of the other DC films in revenue? Is it really because of Jason Momoa?
Yeah.
That's insane!
I guess I think so.
That's insane! That's movies now. Like, poor Francis Ford Coppola and Martin Scorsese, you know, they gotta bust their butts to try to make quality films, but just putting Jason Momoa with no shirt on. Like, this is it.
Aquaman, what about the Irishman? Come on, guys, I'm making cinema over here.
Yeah. These people. How dare you talk about Marvel movies? What? He's allowed to have an opinion.
Oh, well, that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole other discussion. Oh.
We have to do like I might make a podcast out of this. Like we can.
Yeah.
We have to do like a live podcast or like an actual podcast.
It's good to get back in the saddle for sure. Yeah, absolutely. We can get something going.
We'll be doing more of these sometime soon. We got a little over an hour. I think we got most of our points across, so we're gonna do a summary of it. I'm gonna give you the first. We're gonna break it down to one more statement here. If you could give it a number, and could you recommend it to people? I'll have you do it first, and I'll give my final opinion on it, and we'll wrap up. So, what would you say?
3 stars, 3 out of 5, 6 out of 10, whatever. It's a solid or you know, C plus, whatever you want to like. That's about how I feel about it. It's crap, but I don't hate it. It was fun. I feel like I don't know. It's really a toss-up between this and the last one for me. While the Last Jedi was very unfulfilling in a lot of ways, in other ways, I mean, it was very well executed. Like aesthetically, it was spot on. It had some really satisfying action, like the opening scene, Poe taking on the Dreadnought. You know, it definitely had the problem with the Last Jedi. It starts out very high stakes. And then by the end of it, by the time you get on Crate and Luke is brushing off his shoulder and, you know, Rey's flying the Millennium Falcon and all that crap, it feels very low stakes by the end of it. It really just, it loses me.
I like this.
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
I
Oh, I
like
like that. Woo, they hate that ship. Woo.
Yeah, remember Luke when he got at the end, same part in the end of that movie where his hand was cut off and his dad revealed, like the worst guy in the universe revealed that
Right.
he was Luke's dad and defeated
Yes.
him, and he has to contemplate all this horrible stuff, and Han Solo was captured and all that.
Yeah, no. The second movie is the one that should put your heroes through the grinder, you
Wow.
know.
But I like
And
this.
and I guess to an extent it put Luke through the grinder, but like, I mean, look, what about Finn? What about Rey?
Yeah.
What about Poe? What about the new generation? That's the thing. Like
Well,
they,
what about him? Like really, you got nothing. So yeah, that's so yeah. Would you, if you were to tell us like this guy's a Star Wars fan, hey man, I just got done watching the original trilogy. What would you recommend? Would you recommend they watch The Rise of Skywalker, or would you rather them just think that the Return of the Jedi was the last film?
I mean, I would not recommend this trilogy at all. I don't think even honestly, like if you could just leave it at episodes 1 through 6,
Yeah.
just beginning and ending with George Lucas, that's probably the way to go. Play the video games, you got Star Wars Battlefront,
Yep.
Dark Forces, all that good stuff. But this new trilogy has been it's just been a lot of noise, a lot of. It's been fun. It hasn't been a bad time, but it has cheapened Star Wars, no doubt. It is definitely very Disney-fied. It's very Marvel.
Yeah.
It's not really my thing,
Yeah.
but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it, man. It's a 3 out of 5. I would say if I were to give it a ranking, oh boy, as a movie by itself, I'd probably give it 2 out of 5. But for what it did for the sequel trilogy, I'd probably give it maybe 3 or 4. Like just
Yeah,
because
that's a
of
good way to put it. That's a
yeah
good way to put it. That's where I'm at. It averages out
yeah
at about a 3 because of like, yeah, by that logic, that's exactly where I'm at.
yeah because this movie's a mess. It
It
is such a
is.
gigantic mess, but there's things like it's like we watched the second movie and third movie together because you could almost watch The Last Jedi or just skip The Last Jedi and you really would be no worse for wear. Like there's not much that movie did. Like remember Phasma?
Yeah.
Remember Phasma? What the
You mean
what?
Chrome Dome?
Alright, Chrome Dome.
Let's go, Chrome Dome.
Yeah, so much
You'll
for
always be scum. Yeah,
that.
rebel scum.
Uh,
Yeah, it's been a lot of one-liners. It's been a lot of like that crap.
yeah. So
Never underestimate a droid.
yeah, like C-3PO, and he's such an important, deep character that everyone wanted to watch have his own moments in these movies, and just as much as us wanting to see Chewbacca get his medal that nobody asked for.
God forbid R2 and C3PO have an actual genuine moment. Just like, nope, memory's back. Didn't
Yeah.
matter. We already resolved it. Hux is the spy. Oh, he's dead. He's gone.
And that was actually kind of
Yep.
fun. That
Well,
was
now
actually fun for a second.
it was, but then, I mean, Pride, he's kind of boring,
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Pride-
kind of like, oh, he's a spy. It's kind of funny, because he was getting treated like crap all this time, and no, he's dead. Oh, okay. So much for that. I thought that was kind of interesting, but nope, screw us. So yeah, that's kind of my opinion. I don't know if I think that if I were to, if someone did not know about any of this kind of stuff and legitimately missed out on the hundreds of millions of dollars that Disney put out to promote these films, unlike other people pretending they are, if they did not know about the sequel trilogy or the prequels and just watched all 3 of the originals, I would just tell them watch the prequels and you've watched all the movies.
Yeah.
That's it. There's actually some passion in the original 3 for as heavy-handed as they were with all of the problems they have. There was actual some love in those, versus now where it's just an assembly line. you know, they fly now. You know,
They fly now?
they fly now. They fly now. There you go. So, yeah, guys. So that's my 2 cents on Rise of Skywalker. I'm glad to have Keith here. You know, we gotta do more of these. I intend to do more of these.
Yes.
That's it, man. Star Wars is
Right.
over with. It's time to go. It's time for us to go play Shadows of the Empire and forget all this happened.
Dash Rendar.
All right, man. Thanks for joining me again. Sorry about the technical difficulties,
my pleasure.
everybody. But that's it, everyone. That's all she wrote, and I'll probably do some more streaming tonight. But yeah, that concludes our Star Wars talk. We're probably, I don't know, we got some of those movies to review. I know we're really late on Endgame and Infinity War, but I think we can give a good analysis later for that one, I think.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back on tonight. Do a bit more streaming on my own, but yeah, thanks for tuning in.